Hello everyone, can you hear me well? Can you hear me well? Can you see my screen? Hey, hello to all. So hi Ale, Sven, Joe, Dee and Dominic. Hey Luke, hi Chris, Dominic, Shaman. Hola, do you speak Spanish, Shaman? Hey Patrick. Hey Diane, stop saying that because my wife she's gonna believe it. All right. All right. Okay. So let's get started, guys. So if you are new following this trade review, let me just give you kind of a quick reminder what we do here. So basically, what we do is we compare our tech names. We usually this is our watch list, basically the Mac 7 plus the AMD. Uh, and I will start adding Palantir. I think there's a lot of people asking for Palantir. So so we watch all of the Mac 7 plus AMD, and now we will add Palantir, and we compare to what the indices are doing. So my approach is trying to identify first what we are having on the indices, and once we have a clear trend or direction on the indices, we start looking at the movement of our tech names, and we identify opportunities outside of the ranges on the same direction than the indices. So that's kind of my approach. However, after we look for all those opportunities, we start looking for the intraday price action isolated from the indices. So if we see an opportunity on the tech names, that's what we are trying to identify. So let's try to spot all of these trading opportunities here. So on Apple we had this daily gap again. This daily gap is the difference between yesterday's close and today's opening. All right. So so we had this daily gap, and we had this 5 minute opening range. We tried to have this. Look, I added this new line, this new neon green line. That's previous week high and a low. All right. So I know this is not enough displacement, but I want you to see what was going on this 209.82 or this 209.75. So this 209.82, it's a key level on the 15-minute chart, and this 209.75, that's a previous week high. So we had this break and retest, but this is an immediate retest, and also indices were not clear what we're doing. But just for you to know, I mean, I want you to see what's going on key levels. What happens when we identify and we draw good key levels, so we can see the reaction there. And also what was happening here. So here on this breakout, what was happening on the indices. So QQQ was bouncing from the bottom of the 5 minute range, and the SPY was actually bouncing from the bottom of the daily gap. So that means nothing by itself, but when you are looking for context on what's going on the indices, that's how you start looking for correlation on the movements, right? So here we have this break and retest of this previous week high, or this 15-minute chart key level. I wouldn't take any position here just because the trend on the indices was not clear. However, I want I want I want you to show this. Once we start having a clear move to the upside, we can start drawing our order blocks, and you should be able to identify which ones are the best opportunities. So here, for example, here, this is a nice opportunity here. Let me, I'm gonna take this out, but I want to show you why this is important. So this break, this placement and retest of this order block, I want you to see what was going on both indices. So we were actually retesting the 5 minute opening range, and also this order block, this, well, this is not small, let's say, I mean, here I'm only adding like the wick of this down closing candle, but I mean, you can add some of the body, and here I actually added the wick on the body, but you can actually add the whole candle. But the more important thing here is look at the reaction. I mean, once we had this retest and long wick on the indices, what we were doing, well, we were retesting this order block. So if you were to have a position here, let's say that you open your position here right above this previous candle, and you had your risk at the bottom of this order block, and you were aiming to, let's say, if you were aiming first to this, this is previous day high, well, this is not enough. Where is, well, if we were aiming to 212, round number, this was a 1 to 2.5 risk reward ratio trade. And what was happening? I mean, I think this candle here, it's a strong reaction, buyers stepping in on key levels, right? So this is the 5 minute opening range. This is our order block here. This is the 5 minute opening range. This is our order block here. So in both indices, we were having a nice reaction here. So if we open a position here, this is a nice, this is a nice place to have, just because we are in the same direction than the indices, and we are having sort of the same reaction on key levels than the indices. So let me go to the chat. Hello, Alex, I did took that entry on Apple. That's nice, Alex. That's actually a very nice entry. I took a trade at 9:56 with my plan of SPY holding. Well, give me 1 second, Gabe. I'm gonna see SPY at the end. All right. Okay. All right. So, well, this was the only opportunity that I see on Apple. I mean, maybe if this 1028, if you were, again, if you are drawing order blocks with the previous highs, I mean, this is a break, displacement, and good retest of this order block. So maybe when you had this reclaim of the order block, let's say here, your risk was at the bottom of these candles, and you were aiming to high of the day, to the bodies of the high of the day. It was a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio trade, and you actually got it well. So I think that's the only I will take from Apple. So other than Alex, Mohammed, I'm new here, Neto. Welcome, Mohammed. My question is, can we use this setup for stock trading, or it's only for options and indices? Well, no, the break and retest strategy works with any asset. I mean, you can start back testing with the actual underlying, with the stock, but you can do it with with crypto, you can do it with forex, you can do it with futures. You will see that the break and retest, it's an actual natural reaction. It's a natural reaction of investors with the underlying price. So yes, you can use it. You can use it for stock trading for sure. All right. So let's go to the next one. Let's go to AMD. So AMD, I had a few different things here. So I want to show you. So this this is the 5 minute opening range, but also it's, you know, it's an order block here, right? It's an order block here because in an uptrend we are having a down close candle, so that could be an order block. Let's take it out because we have this 5 minute opening range that it's in my opinion it's a bit more important than the order blocks. So here we have this very nice and clear break, displacement and retest of the 5 minute opening range. There's people that could say, hey, look at these good reactions here on the daily gap. This is yesterday's close. This is yesterday's close. The reason I don't like it too much, it's because both indices were kind of consolidating right here. They were consolidating right here, but on this candle we had this nice reaction to the 5 minute opening range this week, retesting the key level and going back, and then we had this impulsive candle to the upside. For some this will be hard to catch. However, I want to show you what was going on again on the indices, right? So we had this huge week retesting the 5 minute opening range and the order block on SPY, and this week retesting the 5 minute opening range on QQQ. So here after this reaction you should have your finger ready for this candle, right? So once this candle is above the previous one, you open your position here, and you were aiming to high of the day. This was a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio trade, and as you can see you had this impulsive candle, then you retrace a bit to yesterday close, and then you had this last push that it was actually to 97. No, it's 96 something, but anyways, I mean, if you got it here, it was a 1 to 2.25 risk reward ratio trade, and then you had a strong reactions here. Then you had this nice hammer. Oh, sorry about that. Then you had this nice hammer here, retesting this 96.60 on the 15-minute chart. However, it didn't have continuation. Why? Because SPY actually hit pre-market high. This 552.83, this is pre-market high. So look at the strong reaction at pre-market high. So what we were doing here after this, after hitting pre-market high, we expected some sort of reaction, but we had a strong reaction on SPY. All right, so you should be ready to trim your position here, and you actually had a few opportunities to trim your position into 1 to 2 or 1 to 8, 1 to 1.8 risk reward on your trade. So anyone took AMD somewhere here? Let me take the comments on the chat. I have a bar by bar question. I took Qs at 10.03 and took half off at the push of 10.05, 10.03, 10.05. Okay. And out at 10.06 candle. If I had held one con, where do I take the last con off? Okay. Well, the barber, it's a QQQ, right? Yeah. The bar by bar practice is once you have a candle closing below your previous candle. So, for example, this 1007 was a red candle, however, it didn't close below your previous candle. Then you had this 1008 candle, and yes, it was a red candle, but it didn't close below the previous candle. However, this 1009, this actually closed below the previous candle. So you should be you should be holding your contract all the way to this 1009 candle. That's kind of the bar by bar practice. Um, let me go to the next question. Chris Beck, I entered in AMD with 3 cons at the close of the 951. That was the retesting of the gap. 951, okay, 951, all right. And SPY, QQQ were both above their 5-minute opening range. 951, above their 5-minute opening range. Making higher highs and higher lows. Okay, but the thing is that it was actually making the higher highs, so you should be expecting some sort of pullback, right? So you scale one contract at high of the day. That was a nice one. And when you say high of the day, was this high of the day? This 1006? And ended up losing on the trade after AMD broke and closed back below. Yeah. Was this a bad entry? It's not a bad entry, Chris. I mean, you are actually getting this. You can see it's holding this the daily gap. However, look at the indices. They were actually pulling back. They were pulling back. So just as you say, they were creating higher highs, higher lows. But you got your position. You got into your position right when the both indices were pulling back. So I think you did well trimming here. But if you enter here, maybe you say 951. Yeah, 951 at the close of 951. So something like this. All right. So probably your stop loss will be at the very bottom of the candle that you entered, and you were aiming to high of the day. Actually, this was a nice trade, Chris. Not sure why you didn't take more on your positions, but this was a nice trade, very decent. And even when these candles going down, they never close below of your risk of your stop loss level. If you have a hard stop loss, I mean, yes, maybe you were stopped here, but the thing is that your risk should be at least at the bottom of the candle that you enter, right? At least. But if you rush me, maybe you should have this one. Maybe this 5-minute opening range should be your stop loss, and then there was no candle closing below that. So not sure why you were stop out. You just chicken out, my friend. But and I understand these candles were, look, these candles were very aggressive on the indices. I remember being in a position when this candle came. So yeah, I mean I did chicken out. I did chicken out too. All right. Okay, Dominic. If you went for the trade at candle close, it will be too bad of a risk. Is it something to come with experience or entering on the reclaim of yesterday's close? Yesterday close. Uh, I mean, there's no right or wrong question. I mean, if you are watching the reaction on the yesterday's close right here, I mean, it's not about point to enter into position. The thing is that, I mean, with the next candles, you probably scared a bit, but if never close below of these candles or below of this invalidation level for me. So if you stayed here, you should be. I mean, you should be having a good trim up here. Look, I did when 10 a.m. candle was about to close. 10:01. What's 10:01? Yeah, that was a nice entry. Uh, Christian Grant, I've been paper trading Dow 30 stocks, not options. Is that a bad idea? It's not a bad idea. It's actually the same thing, Christian. I mean, you just need to master the practice of the break and retest. So you need to be patient to identify your key levels, to wait for the break, have some displacement, and then the retest of the key level, right? Okay. Sorry, you meant your trade. You pointed out at 10:01. Looks like quite the big stop for me. Um, Yeah, well, at the close, yes. I mean, if you enter here, yeah, if you enter here, you are almost at high of the day. So for me, that's not ideal. I wouldn't take the trade here. So what I will do here is to be ready. So if this candle comes above this previous candle body, then you can start your positions here. I mean, absolutely, that's kind of the aggressive way. If you want to wait for the close of the candle, yeah, that will be all the way up here, and that's a huge risk. That's a huge risk, and also you will be kind of buying at the high of the day, so that doesn't make any sense. All right. Okay, let me go to Amazon. I know Amazon is my customer now. It's my favorite thing to it's my favorite thing to trade. So uh, there was a lot of people that fake Amazon because on the pre-market we had news that they were showing on their price the impact of the tariffs. So we had this huge drop on the pre-market. So we had this huge drop on the pre-market, but then at the right at the open, someone just went to clarify that they were not doing that thing I mean they just rectified, right? So it kind of recovered. So we had this right in the morning, so it was a big range for Amazon. So I waited for this impulsive candle to actually break the 5 minute opening range and this order block, right? So once we came here, this we had this displacement and this retest. Uh, what I did, it's can you see here, guys? I mean, this is the again on QQQ. This was the reclaim of this order block, and in SPY we were reclaiming this 5 minute opening range. So I really like this candle. I mean, this second candle, the second green candle, to enter into a position here, just because Amazon was respecting market structure, and even with this drop on SPY and QQQ, I mean, Amazon was holding well. So once we had this second green candle and we were kind of reclaiming this 5 minute opening range and this order block, I enter into this position here. Probably, I mean, probably if you were less aggressive than me. You took your position here, like on the reclaim of the 5 minute opening range and the ortho block. And even that, I mean, if you were aiming to this key level, this 187 key level, it was a 1 to 2.47 or 1 to 2.5 risk reward ratio trade, and I really like this. I really like this. However, there was a second chance to have this trade on this break, this placement and retest of this 186.10 key level on the 15-minute chart. And what was happening? What was happening on this key level? Can you see, guys? QQQ was retesting. I'm sorry. Is it mute? No. Okay. It was retesting this green line. It's the previous week high. So we were retesting the previous week high. So I really like this retest. I mean, I didn't take it, but it actually helped me to stay on this trade. So if you open your position here and you have your risk right below your previous weeks, and you were aiming to this 187 key level, it was a 1 to 2.5 risk reward ratio trade. You were trading with the same trend and direction than the indices, and this is actually a very clear and defined risk and take profit levels, right? So this 187 was has been really important the past days and weeks. So this was an easy key level to spot. So Prasu, hi Neto, can you please show again how did you draw the second order block? The second order block where? On Amazon? Prasu, can you type on the chat what was the second order block you meant? Well, let's continue. If Prasu is listening and you want your question to be answered, just let me know what was the second order block that you said. I'll be back to Amazon. Okay. The Neto, I saw this opportunity and I did not open the trade, and I don't know why. Well, I mean, hesitation is a thing, and don't be too hard with you, Dijan. Look at the indices. I mean, this drop is crazy, so this kills confidence on everyone, right? So these kind of movements are crazy. So don't worry about that. I mean, just you need to make sure that you have your entry criteria in place and you follow your playbook, you follow your rules. That's the most important thing to do. So if you were not complying with everything on your entry criteria, there's nothing wrong with skipping an opportunity like this. Balls, I didn't look at Apple and Amazon today as I thought I was recommended not to trade tickers 2 days to earnings. Well, I mean, I don't recommend to trade tickers one day before and next day the first 15-20 minutes because of the IB. The IB gets super high. But look, for example, today Amazon, I mean, it has a lot of volatility and a lot of movement. So I don't see a reason just to skip them like the whole week. But I mean, it's with your style and your personality, Balls. So whatever works for you. I like Amazon, and I know it very deeply, so I know how it moves, I know how it reacts to news, I know it very good, so I was confident to take the trade. But again, there's no right or wrong answer here. You can wait for the whole week, or you can actually just avoid the day of the earnings. I just try to not trade the ticker one day before and the next day for the first 15 to 20 minutes, or until the IB cools down a bit, right? Okay, guys. So let's go for what is going on here. Well, this is another nice opportunity. It's out of my trading time window because I like to enter trades before 10:40 Eastern time. I can manage to stay in a trade later in the day, but I mean I only like 10:40 to enter into a trade. So this one it's 11:20. However, look how clear is the retest and how it's holding this 5 minute opening range. And what was happening on the indices? Well, SPY was retesting the previous week high, and QQQ was retesting this 472.39 key level on the 15-minute chart that it's actually yesterday's close. So this could be another good opportunity for you guys if you take your trade, let's say like here when it reclaims this 186.10 key level, and you said like maybe your risk was at the bottom of this week. Your risk is at the bottom of this week, this first week that retested here, and you were aiming to high of the day. Well, this was a 1 to 2.7 risk reward ratio trade. So this was actually another nice opportunity here. Again, this is out of my trading time, but this is very clear, right? I mean, this is the retest of the 5 minute opening range. Even if you open your position like let's say like something like this, I mean there was never a candle closing below your stop loss level, so you should be able to stay on this trade. All right. Let's see if we have anything on the chat. Nothing on the chat. All right. So let's go to the next one, Nvidia. Okay, so Nvidia, we have, well, I like to draw these order blocks with the new highs of the day, right? So for example, here, this is the new order block, or maybe this one. Actually, this was kind of more important, right? So we had this break, displacement, and retest of two different key levels here. So the first one is this order block, right? The second is this reaction on the 5 minute opening range. And the third one is this yesterday close. So after some consolidation here, let's look for coincidence with the indices or confluences with the indices. All right. So this candle, this 10 in the morning candle, all right, this 10 in the morning candle happens to be the same than the indices retesting the order blocks and the 5 minute opening range. So here it's a nice opportunity to be. So if you were waiting for this reclaim of the 5 minute opening range, well, you had this nice opportunity to high of the day. It was a 1 to 2.1 risk reward ratio trade, and actually what I don't like too much about this is that probably you should have your risk all the way to here. So you needed to look for a different key level here, 109.50. What 109.50? It's a nice place to be, and it's a 1 to 2.4 risk reward ratio trade. If you got into this impulsive candle, everything worked, right? Everything worked. But if you didn't went into this before this impulsive candle, probably this was not a good opportunity here. So let's take it out. And after that, I don't see any good opportunity, at least for longs. It's just ranging, right? It was just ranging. And later of the day, yeah, look at this. I mean, This is just going, this is dropping very deep into 108, and then it's ripping to 110. So yeah, so if you didn't take this trade on before this impulsive candle, I don't see any other good opportunity here. Anyone took a trade on Nvidia? uh, I took this trade and closed at the high of the day. Yeah, before that, before 109.60. Yeah, before this impulsive candle, right? Ale, I took Nvidia at 940 of 1 minute opening range. 940. Uh, well, that I'm trying to convince myself, Ale. Yeah, I mean, I like how all these candles were kind of holding this 1 minute opening range. However, these last two, they were below that, and there's no, well, there's some consolidation here on the pre-market. uh, it wasn't, I didn't have any key level there. So, but yes, I mean, if you were looking for the just as you said, if you were looking at this like a flag, and you were looking for the reclaim of the 1 minute opening range, and looking at the indices, they were both inside of the range. Yeah, well, that actually worked, but that will be completely out of my playbook. There was a flag on the 1 hour time frame. This one, 1 hour. Hmm. I mean, yes and no. uh, I mean, I can see what you were looking at. It's just, I think that, I mean, you were looking to the 1 hour, but trying to enter into the 1 minute. Not sure if these are the best confluences for your entry. But I mean, absolutely, this worked, and that was great. Uh, if you enter on the reclaim of the 1 minute opening range, and you got it all the way to the high of the day, your risk was at the bottom of these weeks maybe, and high of the day, 1 to 4 risk reward rated trade. I closed about pre-market high. That was super nice. That's actually almost a 1 to 6 risk reward ratio trade. That was very nice, Ale. I wouldn't take that because that was too aggressive. Not only because it was 940, so it was still early in the day, but also because both indices were inside of the first 5 minute opening range. Uh, but yeah, well, congratulations on this trade. Okay, let's go. Let's go to Tesla. Okay. So you remember, guys, Tesla is always doing different stuff. So it dropped hard at the very beginning of the session. I still don't know why, if there were some news or Trump, smoke marijuana again on a TV show, live streaming or whatever. So the only thing that I saw on Tesla was this break, displacement, and retest of this 5 minute opening range. Uh, this was an actual good retest. It wasn't too deep into, well, it was 280, and it came back all the way to 285. That's kind of regular business for Tesla trade. So after this retest and after looking at this, I will take a trade. I will take a trade right below the this second candle, and my risk will be at the top of this first retesting candle, and I will be aiming to low of the day, or at least to 1 to 2 risk reward ratio trade. But this actually didn't work, and I think it didn't work because look what was happening on the indices. It was actually consolidating, but also they were uptrending, right? I mean, they were, yes, they were consolidating, but they were on a clear uptrend. So I think that's the reason that this trade didn't work, and so it it actually went to high of the day a few candles later. Then we got this drop again, in line with this drop on the indices. All right, in line with this drop on the indices. So we had this break and retest of the pre-market low. And if you were aiming to a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio trade, you got it like right here. Let's say you were aiming to 280 maybe, no, 280.50. Yeah, maybe 280.50. Yeah, actually, I mean, this worked. This was a 1 to 3 risk reward ratio trade, but I wouldn't trust this because look, the indices were very high at the top of the day, and this was just consolidating at the low of the day, right? But I mean, if you are not taking any correlation with the indices, this, I mean, this could work. I never will take this trade because the price action on the indices, and this was completely on the opposite side of the of my radar. But well, that's what happens with Tesla. um, okay, so let me go to the chat. All right, first ticker with you. All right, okay, so that was Tesla, and let me go to Palantir. I got a member of the community that asked for going to Palantir. Well, as you can see, it was ranging inside the 5 minute opening range for the whole day. I wouldn't take a trade inside of this range. Uh, and when it finally broke out this range, uh, it was too late on the day. It was too late on the day. However, what was happening with the indices here? Well, they were still at high of the day. I wouldn't take a trade right here, right? It's the high of the day. Indices were at high of the day. This is not a clear break with momentum and or impulsive. So I wouldn't take a trade today on Palantir. And so that's all for me, guys, today. If you have any other ticker that you would like me to take a look, please send it before these sessions so I can prepare something for you, at least with the levels. No, I didn't touch SPY. So let's go to SPY today. Let me go back to your messages, Gabriel. Give me 1 second here. Gabriel, I took a trade at 956. 956. Okay. With my plan of SPY holding 551. Okay. 551. It was holding 551. Stop 550.37. Why? Why was that your stop loss? I almost got stopped by the new scandal. I see SPY and QQQ pushing up. Mm, I don't know, Gabriel. I mean, I don't trade too often SPY. I prefer, for being honest, when I trade SPY, it's because it's super obvious the market structure. So, and usually I trade like the breakouts on SPY. So I'm not your reliable source for strategies with the SPY. But as you can see, the break and retest works nicely with the indices. Uh, but what I like is to compare my ticker with something. So that's why I trade the mega caps or the max sevens because I can actually compare with QQQ and SPY. Uh, so all right, so guys, thank you very much for joining. As you can see, we are actually reaching people outside of our community. So if you can give it a like and subscribe to the channel and share with other traders that want to know what we do with the break and retest strategy and how we spot opportunities across the market, I will be very thankful. So thank you very much, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.